What?
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 Who?
Why? Chicken thigh.
It's a great way to start the show.
I like chicken personally. Take it away, Tim.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speaking from the Center.
Better for
I,
speaking.
of course, am your intrepid host, Tim.
I think it's a really major mistake and an insult to me.
I'm Mark. I'm also known.
Pretty soon we're going to become this country.
Yeah, we are.
I'm Mikey Famine.
Say, oh, you think you bought that? You think it's a game?
Yes.
And I'm the Canadian Ollie Man.
You can't park this, huh?
That was nice.
That was nice. That was good.
So what do you talk about on this show, Tim?
We talk about politics and despair.
Yeah, that.
There you go. Way to hook in the fresh people in the first 2 minutes. Got them. Thanks.
We are a light and breezy show about politics.
We're mostly just a comedy show.
We're mostly
Speaking
like
of wars and coups,
Speaking of Operation Paperclip, now on to better news.
Oh boy.
it is kind of nice that I think for our topics today, we won't be discussing the big T for a change.
Who, Trump?
Yes.
And his various legal issues?
Yes. Even
He's got
though we could
various
probably scrap our whole lineup and just talk about him and the updates on his many, many indictments.
I mean, I heard that a couple of the people in the Georgia case, that they all have to be tried together, by the way. All 19 people have to be tried together. Asked for a speedy trial. And the judge was like, okay, how's
All right.
October?
One person asked for that, Tim. Not all of them.
It was two of them.
Was it two of them now? Okay.
Yeah,
I knew there was
It
one.
was Meadows and one of the other lawyers. They were like, can we have a speedy trial? And the judge was like, well, if you want a speedy trial, everyone can have a speedy trial.
Yeah,
they're
we're ready
trying
for
to-
October.
He's trying to. He's
And then-
like, well, he's trying to like. I guess he's trying to dip out so he didn't have to be associated with everybody else. He's like, nope. You know what? You're right. You do deserve a speedy trial. I agree with you 100%. Malicious compliance, my favorite kind of revenge.
So
Didn't they set a trial date for March something?
that was for a different. That's for the federal
Insurrection.
trial.
That's
The-
J6.
The Georgia one is about election interference in Georgia, and I think the trial date the judge is proposing is October 23rd.
Yeah, that's for the early trial. Yeah. I saw a show the other day on actually about that he could be a sacrificial lamb going in there and going that way. The prosecution has to show their case for the RICO part of it, and then the later trials be better prepared to fight whatever
Well,
evidence.
they have discovery. Like they know exactly
So-
what the case is. Like they know exactly where their client was. It's just they got to
Yeah,
find a reason for why he was doing what he was. Like
There's always tactics that come up.
you have access to your client. What more could you need?
Yeah, I
You
mean
know what I mean? If he
the
was in prison, you know what I'm saying? If he was incarcerated and they had to keep making visits and they could only come during certain times and there kept being lockdowns, like, yeah, you need weeks or whatever to prepare. The motherfucker's flying you around in jets. I'll see you in a month. You'll be good. That's plenty of fucking time for events that you were already there for and that you say didn't happen.
I believe the prosecution said October 23rd is fine with us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Off to the races.
Now we get to see if Georgia enacts their new law that allows them to dismiss prosecutors.
Oh, I forgot the thing. Fuck.
the thing with the thing.
What's
That's
his
fine.
name?
The dude who's
Pro-
Prigozhin.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's the
Jimmy
one.
Progogo.
That's the one that we were supposed. That's what I was supposed to be looking up, but then we talked about something else and I forgot.
Yeah. So, yes, Trump has potentially an October trial date. He definitely has a March trial date and a May trial date. for
It's
2024.
gonna be May.
So he's got a full calendar.
And I
Oh.
hope the judges force him to be present.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, in the Georgia one, all 19 defendants have to be there with their counsel, and I assume they're going to share counsel for the most part.
Well,
Well, we know
I thought that
Rudy's
there was
going to. He's trying to file bankruptcy.
He's like, I can't afford this shit, man.
I thought they were going to have to batch them up because they're really not supposed to have more than 6 defendants in the court at one time due to security reasons.
Well, the problem is, it's a good defense strategy to have them all tried at different times, because then you can really break up the prosecution's organizational case. But
And exhaust the jury.
and yeah, but that's why they were going for this early trial stuff, because Meadows, and I forget the other guy's name, but they were trying to get themselves tried separately. Meadows is still trying to get himself tried in federal court instead of Georgia court, so that they can break up the defense. But the strategy for them is to try and break up the 19 defendants into different trials, essentially.
Yeah.
And the prosecution would rather try them all at the same time.
Let them trip over themselves, see how screwed they are, and get a few of them to flip.
Because in RICO cases, all the defendants usually get tried at the same time. That's what I've heard.
I've seen so many TikToks that are like imposing in like Sopranos or Goodfellas clips with like Rudy Giuliani being charged with a RICO case, since he used to charge criminals with RICO.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Let's see here.
Speaking
All
of
good.
hilarious,
I'm trying to. There we go.
Throw for error.
There we go. I was trying to get the stream going on my phone.
what are we doing first?
We got to talk about what happened after the show, which is this.
New details just into CNN about what Vladimir Putin was doing as reports emerged that a plane reportedly carrying Yevgeny Prigozhin had crashed. Putin was leading a ceremony marking a World War II battle between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. And we're also now seeing just released data from Flight Radar 24 that reveals...
Yes, an unfortunate, catastrophic wing detachment at 30,000 feet.
Yep. Oh, also, the plane that crashed is a South American company that has never had a crash.
Oh yeah, that model of jet. Yeah, it's like the safest.
One of the
jet
safest fucking
ever.
private jets ever.
It's
This shit doesn't happen.
like one has fallen out of the sky once, and then this is number 2.
What
I saw a guy
happened
trying
in
to
the
break
plane...
down what was happening with the black box, and apparently, like, it went way up and then way down and then way up and then just kind of crashed.
Someone was fighting at the wheel, fighting at the stick.
Moments. The jet, according to the tracking site, leveled off at 28,000 feet, but it had erratic climbs and descents in its final minutes, and the plane dropped 8,000 feet per minute before data transmission stopped.
8,000 feet per minute.
It would take them about, from 30,000 feet, it would take them almost 5 minutes to hit the ground.
4, maybe?
133 feet a second.
Yeah, that's fast.
That's pointed down engines going.
Yeah.
That is not 9.8 per second squared. Like that's very rapid. Sheesh.
Man.
Well,
So why did his plane fall? What happened?
Putin.
You don't cross Putin, man. Even though Putin is trying to say Ukraine snuck into Russia.
Well, come on, man.
Just outside of Moscow. and was able to fire surface-to-air missiles to shoot him down.
Dude, okay, apparently the fucking Power Rangers are on the Ukraine side, according to
Yeah, right.
Like, I
They're
don't
good.
know.
Not
Fucking
that good.
Jason Bourne's all his little brothers. Like, I don't know who the hell they recruited. Like the Wagner group is nothing compared to the fucking Unredeemables. What the fuck was that? What was that Stallone movie?
Oh,
Oh my
They're
god.
coming out with another one.
What is it?
The Expendables.
The Expendables.
Yeah, the Expendables cast, now that's what I call Expendables 15 was out there fucking everybody up according to fucking Putin.
Only line I remember that, like, those movies are fun, and Terry Crews, you remember this shit at Christmas?
Man, I don't know if it was so dumb or I was so drunk or both. I can't remember anything about those movies except for everyone just being like, and looking at each other. Like, I remember a couple of guns, but I have no idea what the plot is. That is a black hole in my brain.
It's something, definitely.
I'm watching it again tonight.
There you go.
I'll
So
give you guys
you only need to
full
watch
report.
the first one. Everything past that is extra stupid. So
I can't afford no extras, not in this economy. But Prigozhin is the leader, CEO, president. What's his role at the Wagner Group? What does him do?
He is the leader, but he is more so the owner or the face of the company.
This guy.
The more important person that died on the plane was Dmitry Utkin, who was another one of the Wagner's leaders, but he was one of their battlefield leaders. He has some pretty unsightly past references and let Prigozhin take the limelight and ran things from behind the scenes. But they're both
nasty.
So there's really a power vacuum now. Something else I saw today is that Putin is demanding that Wagner mercenaries declare fealty to him and to the Russian state.
Here we go.
And I think I was talking to one of you about this earlier, that there's a lot of TikToks and other social media coming out from like Wagner groups saying like they're not going to do that and they're going to go seek vengeance against Putin. And like, who knows how much bluster that is. But I'll have 25,000 dudes that aren't going to get paid anymore.
I mean, like, is that your move if you're Putin, right? Like, hey man, you're gonna fight for me, or I'm gonna fucking fuck you up, motherfucker. Now here's all these weapons. Like, I don't know, like that's the move that I would go. Like, I don't know if I would like deliberately threaten them and then also arm them immediately afterwards. Like, I don't know, like that. I wouldn't do it in that order. Like, I don't know, I don't know if that's a good idea. To just threaten the people that you're arming and saying, here, have some military secrets. Go win this war for me. You bitch.
Do it.
Yeah, do it, bitch. And they're like, I don't know. I think you should ask nicely. Probably.
Well, and he has to now weigh, because he is trying to instill fear in his underlings and have them keep fighting each other so he can retain power. But if you keep killing your allies...
You saw Game of Thrones.
That doesn't inspire loyalty, usually. It inspires fear and distrust, which could only lead to further dissent in the coming months.
I would say it wouldn't be a week around the show if Tim didn't threaten my life and try to usurp my crown as the king of Halo. Like, it's every week he comes for me in the night with a dagger, and I got you.
Yeah, last night I got you.
Yeah.
You leave his husky raid alone.
Not a week goes by where I'm like, there goes Tim trying to stab me again. Damn it, Tim. Tim, no coups. Can't have that.
Well, and now that Wagner's leadership is dead, what happens to their worldwide operations? Because they're not really fighting in Ukraine anymore, but they have their fingers in multiple African countries, which leads us into the next topic here.
Shazam.
regional bloc has threatened the military with an August 6th ultimatum. Cede power back to the president or face military intervention.
So I think I might have skipped the very beginning. This is in Niger. Let me try to go back.
This video was brought to you by Brilliant. West Africa might be on the brink of a regional war following last month's coup in Niger, as a regional bloc has
ugly ass blue uniform.
Yo, that shit was popping and you know it. You are a hater. Haters gonna hate. Boy, you know.
Is he in the Air Force? Is he trying to blend into the sky?
What's this V-neck? This deep V-neck. That's a blouse, son.
Nice little white shirt underneath.
And y'all ain't even got it tucked in. Never mind.
Coup in Niger, as a regional bloc has threatened the military with an August 6th ultimatum. Cede power back to the president or face military intervention. But unfortunately for an already unstable region, coup leaders from neighboring nations have vowed to fight back.
And that's where the problem comes in, and that's where the Wagner Group comes in. Because the Wagner Group is committed to some of these juntas, some of these anti-government militias that are throwing the region into chaos. They were the hired muscle. And sometimes voluntary muscle, because with everyone wanting batteries
and uranium, Niger has huge deposits of uranium.
The sub-Saharan Africa just became very, very important now that what's there is now desired. Ali, you're Canadian. How many Royal Mounted Police battalions have just swarmed up and said we're just gonna just control this territory from now on? So
what?
Canadian government just stay out. Did sections of your government just break off? Usually military
new
forces.
Country.
Yeah, they just say, well, we're gonna do this now. Does that happen in Canada?
I don't understand the concept that you're pitching at me because it doesn't happen. No.
Okay, so
what the fuck are you talking?
What territory of France is predominantly French that has been trying to secede for years?
Oh, Quebec. You're talking about Quebec?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're not trying to do it militarily.
Yet.
They're trying to do it.
Not yet.
No, they'll never. They don't part of the military.
What if I told you that they've been lacing that poutine with fucking?
Well, I'm seeing a connection here. Canada used to be French, and the French part of Canada wants to secede.
See,
one step away, my friend.
And then they're going to start claiming other lands. Next thing you know, they'll want Michigan, and we won't say anything.
Yeah, we won't say anything. They can have Michigan. Like that.
Michiganders can learn fucking French for all I care.
Yeah.
They'd be happy too.
They can also have Maine.
Yeah. Fuck off, Maine.
We don't want Maine though.
Why not?
We just don't.
Lots of fish.
I moved to take Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois into Canada.
There you go.
Seconded.
Well,
we'll take Wisconsin if we have to, but I'm okay with it.
It's just so that they can reach me. That's all. That's the only reason I picked them. I would have picked Iowa, but then again, it's Iowa.
No, they can have. U.S. can keep Iowa.
You're stuck where you live. But Ali, what do you think the Canadian response would be to somebody, a group of armed military people from a part of the country just saying, we're keeping this part of the country, everybody stay out?
I'm still having trouble grasping the concept of that because it just wouldn't happen. Like you're talking our actual military.
Yeah, like a battalion, like one base.
The rest of the country, this is now our area.
Yeah, like a base. Like one base just said, fuck it, this town is ours.
That wouldn't happen.
Right.
Or I guess an even different example would be like the Secret Service.
Our military bases are not populated from the local population. You know what I mean? So CFB
imagination.
Gagetown in New Brunswick, one of the biggest bases in Canada, is not that the personnel there are not New Brunswickers for the most part. They're from all across Canada. They're all a mixture from everywhere. So that idea doesn't even come in because there's nobody there.
It's a hypothetical.
All right, Ollie. How about this? How about several groups of militias?
Okay, just private militias.
Yeah. Private militias storm the capital of your country, the Capitol building of your legislature.
They don't like Ottawa very much.
And let's say they had a leader who told them to do that.
The Queen of Canada. Okay.
Yeah, that lady.
And instead of fucking it up like Trump did in America, they were successful.
What? Okay.
Yeah. In Niger, they've kidnapped the president.
They'd have to be awfully well fucking situated to do that.
I think it's okay to take down a couple of Mounties. It can't be that hard.
Okay.
Leave some syrup out. Leave some syrup on the counter without a lid on it. They're like, no.
Like another one of our military bases is right next to Ottawa. Petawawa, I think it's called.
Perfect.
Right, and they just said the capital's ours now.
That the military base would do that, but private militias, I can give you that. Maybe there's some crazies out there that could do some stupid shit. But they would be overwhelmed by the military in short order.
Okay.
Well, and I think I can understand Ollie's reluctance to engage in this scenario just because even the United States until January 6th did not have a history of insurrection.
I know exactly what happens to armed protesters. Are you fucking crazy? I knew exactly what should have fucking happened to those guys. I knew exactly what should have happened.
Shot down. Oh, my dog needs to go out. I'll be right back in, guys.
Running from the conversation.
I know exactly what happens to peaceful people if there's too many of them in one spot. I expected as soon as 1,000 people got there, they would have just started peppering, spraying people, just to chum the waters a little bit. Make sure, keep
the fans on, throw the tear gas.
Well, to go with what Ollie was saying, there is Army Reserve base within 15 minutes of the White House and the Capitol building. Trump decided, and Pence decided not to call them until it was too late.
Way too late.
So, yes, there could be an armed, almost immediate response. However, America's military and command structure is probably a lot better than some of these countries where coups happened.
Well, it's a perfect storm of a jackass leader who has operational authority over the military.
Right.
And then allowing a subgroup of his supporters to attack the government and then actually holding off the response just to see what would happen.
And, I guess say what you will about America's military structure, where the commander of the military, commander in chief of the military is often a civilian. But it does that sort of structure does kind of keep military coups from happening sometimes.
Separation of powers, definitely.
Yes.
And these African nations, they don't have that, and it's.
And I think with our military, this is probably like a happenstance of like toxic masculinity. But those guys have taken how much they fucking sacrificed to be a general?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Or something like if you think you're gonna just get a fucking new job and fuck up the military and make me do it, you got somebody get this motherfucker before he's wearing his ass out of here, because I'm up to, those dudes are not to be trifled with. I don't know.
Well, and
even if somebody, I feel like even if Biden right now told the generals to do something that was like unconstitutional, I think Secret Service would probably have to protect the president because
Yeah,
they are going to
probably.
knock his fucking front teeth out if they like. They are not shit around dudes.
And there is a level of an almost full-on indoctrination to uphold the Constitution and obey orders.
Right.
And when
well,
those two things clash, you really start to have problems where, like, I don't see, and Trump supporters love to tout, oh, he's still in charge of the military runs everything, blah, blah, blah. It's that level of training that you can't easily just tell the military to go and break the law, at least domestically, or ignoring the whole international problem.
Well, I guess the problem with that is when we're speaking about like those private militias and the people who stormed the Capitol, a not insignificant number of them were law enforcement, former military, current military. Like the people who talk about Trump still has control of the military. They're blowing it way out of proportion, but the point they're making is that there are people in the rank and file in the military who do subscribe to what Trump is peddling.
Sure. But it's not a majority. I would say it's a very small minority, even if you're a conservative-leaning person.
I don't think it's as small as you think it is. I think it's...
Well, the size of it, notwithstanding, is it big enough for that? Because, like, to step out of line in that climate, even to do Trumpy shit, is a risk.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers were damn near married in the service, deployed together, and then still didn't say shit to anybody and still acted like they didn't know each other. Like, this is like getting out of culture is probably not your best move.
And it is more like former military than it is present military. Like there's a lot of former military guys in those militias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it comes to law enforcement, there were a lot of current active cops who stormed the Capitol.
Yep. Some from Illinois.
A few from Connecticut, from what I hear. So, it's tricky because there is a culture, and I don't know anyone currently in the military, so I'm not going to speak about what happens in the armed forces, but I hear that Trump does have some support in the rank and file in the military, but in leadership, like the Joint Chiefs or whatever, that's completely different.
Correct.
Because
so then you'd have to break the chain of command, and they would have to start ignoring the high command of the armed forces. And especially with the military being a volunteer-based force, I don't see it happening, honestly.
And just to source what I was saying, Trump did win the veterans and like armed forces vote in the last election. Like that's the support that he has.
Sure.
I mean, they're Republicans, so
right.
They're
sad because
they're they're low income shooting people. Yeah. Yeah.
That the government doesn't give a shit about once they're not in the armed forces.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks for sure.
So in this video, we'll explain what happened, actually summarize what happened, constitution suspended, and a military junta formed. In response, the Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, from which Niger has been suspended, was quick to condemn the coup.
Okay, so...
Coups ain't cool, bro.
So there's, this is Nigeria here, and this is Benin, Togo, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and I forget who this is over here. I don't know. But yeah, it's these countries here in the center that are the ones that are also getting military support from the Wagner Group, which is now headless.
And impose immediate sanctions on the country. These included the closing of borders, banning of flights to and from Niger, halting financial transactions, freezing assets, and ending aid. Now,
so I get that they want to put pressure on these regimes and they want to put pressure on these juntas. Why do you think that hurting people is ever on the bargaining table? Like, if anything, you waste the aid supplies and you send twice as much. You know what I mean? You leave it on them to be the wasters. You don't just stop sending it.
Oh, they'll just send it somewhere else.
Golly.
But I think the underlying threat with that is like, we're going to cut you off from military aid, especially fighting Islamist insurgencies in these nations, which is quite high. The military would probably lose without direct Western intervention.
Which brings me to one of the larger points of, we didn't have to be here if the world wasn't so fucking greedy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, even talking about the Wagner group, they're only there because they want like the diamond mines and the emerald mines and the natural resources. Like, they're getting paid in those resources to protect whoever.
Yep.
Right.
So that's all it's always been about. It's all, fucking Elon Musk's dad is owned an emerald mine. Like, European colonialism, American colonialism, American imperialism. That just the whole thing.
And a lot of these countries, it's you can argue that democracy is being overthrown.
Right.
One of the things we haven't talked about yet, and we'll get to it when we talk about Gabon, the most recent country to overthrow their leadership.
You're Gabon.
The president of Gabon, his family's been in power since the early 60s.
Like this, what is being passed off as democracy?
Exactly. It's basically a monarchy.
Yeah.
That calls itself a democracy and holds weird ass elections whenever they feel like it, basically. To reaffirm their power. Like
Putin's been in power since Y2K.
Yeah, he had like a couple of years where it wasn't him, right? Someone else won.
But he was like prime minister then.
Yeah, he just changed.
He held some other role.
Yeah, he went to a different title, but then he got rid of the other title and then took it.
I mean, here's the thing, and when you talk about like international relations or comparative politics, Western style or American style democracy just simply doesn't work everywhere. And I know that's like some people. Yeah, some people can't take that, but it's true. That style of democracy doesn't work in Russia because that's not how Russia is operated ever.
Well, we could throw out another example, like why Afghanistan, once we left, crumbled immediately.
Well, because we signed an agreement with the Taliban, but
correct. But they didn't have a history of democracy. Their military, even though we trained them, they weren't like they were conscripted force and didn't give a shit. And loyalties lie with regional leaders and religion, not the state.
If Nolan was here, he would say it's part of the great game, and everyone has had their turn. It's someone else's turn to try and fix Afghanistan now.
Nolan doesn't exist.
Congratulations, Nolan.
What happened in the Middle East is, once again, European colonialism. France and England came in there and divided up the Middle East however they wanted, not respecting whatever the borders of those countries should have been. Were. And they put people at odds with one another. And they tried to nation build, which is just not happening very well.
It's almost like when the Karens decide that they're woke Karens now, and then they take over every single Black Lives Matter event and then just drown out every single person that's ever been like, no black people can even park because the Karens have just smobbed the. It's like, what is happening? Like, this is not helping.
It's
You're not
clearly
helping
the
right
white
now.
women that have been oppressed, Mikey. Okay.
No, she's like,
Clearly.
shut up so I can tell you how oppressed you are. Like, it's like, okay, I won't say nothing. I'm sorry. I won't say nothing else.
I don't want to veer like too far off what our original topic is going to be, but I just want to say that one of the great problems with even aid to Africa by Europe or America is that sometimes the aid comes in the form of loans that these countries can never pay back.
Yep.
And the leadership
takes the money.
And the leadership takes the money, and these countries end up being suppressed economically because it's the same thing that's happening to Puerto Rico. Yeah. Is Puerto Rico's, yes, they're a territory of America, but they're not a state. We give them loans, but we also put terms on those loans that they're not gonna. They've had so many problems in the last 30 years. They're not paying that money back, and it's the same deal that we're giving to some of these African countries. We're like, oh, we'll help you, but you're going to have to pay us back, and it's going to be a lot, and we need the money back. Like,
or sign over your resource rights.
And that's the same thing China is doing, is they're saying, we'll build a port here for you, but it's our port.
Yep. And but then what's the so who's winning this fight for the heart of Africa, right? Is it
nobody?
Is it well no, some people are winning.
Oh,
clearly.
Well.
Some people are not. So some people are not in their governor's mansion or their presidential mansion anymore. You know, so some people are winning in this, right? Some people's objectives are being accomplished. So China wants resources, so they come in and they don't say, "Oh, let me just take over your culture and dominate you and tell you how to run everything." They say, "Hey, looks like you need a highway around here. Love to build you a highway. Actually, we'll give you 150 miles of highway." And guess what? That mine that they want is 150 miles away from the port that they just built.
Yep.
They do things like that with an ulterior motive, and they say, "What's the harm in it? I get something, they get something. Sounds fair to me." And then we just come in with, "Well, I'm just going to make sure that your corrupt government stays corrupt." Like we don't have, like we're not on the right side. We haven't been helping.
I would argue we've never helped.
None of that shit helps. This is just making it worse.
And it's to the point where even non-government organizations are getting in on the racket, as it were. Like, organizations are supposed to be, helping, end up just doing kind of whatever, as long as they can get what they want out of it. And I'm not saying that all nonprofits are bad, but there is like a seedy underbelly of the nonprofit world that takes advantage of countries for their own benefit.
I would honestly say Africa's best hope, and of course this will never happen based on the regional divisions that already exist. They need to shun Europe and the West and make a national African state where all of these countries are like states of the United States, and there's a union and then like a Congress with each state getting a representative.
It already exists.
Of Nigerians queue to volunteer in armed
they already have that.
forces after ECOWAS activated their military force to intervene in Niger over the coup. And the people of Niger are
those are all young people
showing support to the coup leader.
I don't know if all of them are young. That lady right there in the middle.
Hey, calm down. The event is a bunch of young people. Did you watch this already? Do you even know what the fuck's going on? You calm down over there. This is a recruitment. The junta is saying, "Hey, do you love your country? We want you." And the young people are showing up to sign up to join the juntas to protect their country, to protect Niger. Wasn't your government corrupt? Don't you want to protect the country that you love so much? That's the angle that they have.
And I don't know. I'm always suspect when they like show images like this. How do we know that that's what this gathering is?
I'll play on.
Not just for them, but for their country, because they are willing to risk their own lives by going to fight. And clearly, this shows us where Nigerians stand when it comes to protecting their country and also their new junta leaders. Let me show you this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
Thousands of people lined up outside the main stadium in Niamey on Saturday, responding to the call for civilian auxiliaries in support of the armed forces. The event organizer claimed the junta was not involved in this initiative. Regional countries threatened the Nigerian junta of a possible military intervention. I want to be a soldier for the love of my country. Niger.
And it goes through like 3 or 4 different young guys. So they're of the opinion that we need to get rid of these guys.
Who are they getting rid of?
The government. The government that was already there. They said, we want our original government out. And the Wagner Group is keeping Nigeria and everybody from bringing the bad guys back.
Well, I don't know. It could be also be similar to, why Russia still has so much support. Because so you feel support for the country you live in, whether you believe in it or not.
So when they say like, oh, well, we're trying to get rid of the corruption. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to, people call election fraud. You want to talk about election fraud? Look at some African countries' elections and the results and the staggering number of opposition votes. So yeah, people like, no, we want them out. So where do we stand as and how do we help? And what's our part in this?
That's extremely difficult on like an international diplomacy level. Like, boy, honestly, America shouldn't play a part
at all.
I mean, it's so complicated,
right?
That America needs to rethink its vision of how we operate in the world. And we've been very carrot and stick since, I don't know, forever, World War II.
Yeah.
And Biden is not a diplomacy guy altogether. Like he's been a war hawk in the past. He voted for the Iraq War. Like, there needs to be a wholesale change in strategy, especially when it comes to Africa. I think America needs to not intervene, but support countries economically and not try to bury them in debt. And not try to nation build, because we're terrible at it.
Yeah.
We're honestly the worst at it.
But the argument is if we don't do it, Russia and China will do it instead.
Which is why we need to be an economic partner with Africa. I think that we can build up economies in these countries without exploiting them. And I think that's the fine line that we have to walk, because China is exploiting them, and so are we to an extent, and that should stop. I don't know how
that would mean doing the right thing, though.
That'd mean doing the right thing. Though. I was about to say I don't know how we do that, because it's almost unthinkable for us to do something like that in our present situation.
Well,
it's almost like you guys are bred to do the opposite of that. No offense, but in a lot of situations, that's the way it seems.
Hey, quiet up there, Canada. Don't make me come over there.
Calm down.
Yeah, part of the British Commonwealth that destroyed the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not claim perfection.
I bet Ollie's got a picture of the Queen in his house somewhere.
And a Union Jack.
I guarantee you I do not.
I bet your office does.
My office?
Where you work?
Probably.
Well, it's probably the king. It's probably the king now, right? It's, you got the king
I
in
work
there.
for the Canadian government, so probably. Yeah.
Well, I think you could argue that maybe Biden has been doing this because we have stated we're not going to get involved militarily, and we sent negotiators to try to get a negotiated peace to stop armed conflict in the region. But of course, ECOWAS is going to do what they want if they want to try to force Niger back into the fold.
Because that's the thing. It's like they hear what all the Westerners are saying, but they're like, you're not actually here. So
yeah.
These motherfuckers is dangerous. They just took over this fucking government, and everyone's sitting around talking about some, well, maybe we should just let them do it. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? So, like, I hear from I'm seeing all of these different angles, and this is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So
this is a fucking mess.
So what I'm about to say is very anecdotal, but a possible solution. Any peacekeeping force that America sends is going to be seen as intrusive and probably bad.
Yep.
So we use the United Nations, and we use Irish peacekeeping force, because Ireland is seen as a neutral party around the world for peacekeeping. They do it all the time, and diplomacy. We use Irish forces to calm things down, and use diplomacy and economic improvement to try and stabilize some of these governments and not prop up dictators. But we also can't, this is the complicated part, we also can't force Western democracy on these countries, because every time we do that, we fuck it up.
Let me tell you why your plan's going to fail, Tim. You want to
I then have a reason after you're done why the plan's
he wants
not
to send a plane full of Irishmen to sub-Saharan Africa to what? Burst into flames? Why would you do that to them, Tim?
But they've done
it. They can't.
They've done it a bunch, actually.
They've done it before.
They can't be in the sunlight like that. I can't leave my wife. Like, can you imagine me sticking my wife out on a beach somewhere? She just burst into light and steam.
Listen, you just got to give them like SPF 5000.
You mean lead?
Yeah.
They're in lead Iron Man suits.
So you're going to sacrifice these poor Irish people to the sun god for no reason.
So I have a question, Tim, just because I don't know about this procedure for the UN. Does the Security Council have to sanction peacekeeping forces?
I don't know. I don't know enough about how the UN works to say that one way or the other.
So
although
I would think that they do. And if that's the case, if Russia wants Wagner to have control and they're a de facto subpart of the Russian military, they'll shut down any international force that goes in.
I'm sure China would too. So I mean, it's a problem that is not solved easily or quickly.
Sure.
It would probably take a decade or two to make any sort of headway.
Well, I'll say this as far as we go. At least we're fucking talking about it. Like, I have not seen this in any major news at all.
I haven't seen it either.
No one is talking. There's literally, like, the president has been under house arrest for over a month. They stormed the Capitol and kidnapped the president a month ago. And they
didn't even have to do that. It was his presidential guard. They opened the door and said, "You're under arrest."
And no one has told the rest of the world about this. So you heard it here first. Okay.
Watch, it'll break into American news in like a month, and we'll be like, "I told you so."
Yeah, and then everyone will say, "Oh, you're jumping on the bandwagon again."
So we should do this one quick, just because it's linked to the same thing. Because one coup in a month isn't enough. We needed another one. And Gabon said, "Fuck it. We don't want the presidential family in power anymore, since they've been in power since the 60s. And another fun fact, this is their second coup since 2019. They had another one a few years ago.
It says here, General Nguema was earlier carried triumphantly through the streets of the capital, Libreville, by his troops. The deposed president Ali Bongo has appeared in a video at his home calling on his friends all over the world to make noise on his behalf. The formerly French colony is one of Africa's major oil producers. See, that's money again.
Yep.
Money again, guys.
I did a report on Gabon in school years and years ago. They have, for being a tiny ass country, they are loaded with valuable resources.
Well, and that's, I mean, and I'm sure they've been exploited economically for an untold amount of time.
Yeah.
Yep. And they arrested his son. So they arrested him and his heir because he would be the next person to take over for him.
What the fuck? See, you not no damn president. Your son automatically becomes the president when you get dead. No, you're king.
That's what happened for him. He took over from his dad.
Stop. Change your constitution.
They probably do that every couple years too. I don't know.
With a new president.
So so we've had 8 coups now in the last couple years. Today it was Gabon, Niger last month, Burkina Faso 8 months ago, Sudan at the end of 2021. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Guinea?
What is it?
Guinea.
Oh, Guinea.
Guinea.
Also in 2021, and there's been 2 other coup attempts in Mali in 2020 and 2021.
It's that
this shit pops off every 6 months.
Yeah, it's sub-Saharan Africa. It's the same. It's the juntas running around, round everybody up, overthrow your government, trust the military. We know better, and we'll give you the government that you deserve. And that's the danger of not fucking having your fucking finger on the pulse of your fucking politic local. Like you cannot let this shit get away from you, because these countries were not like this 5 years ago. They were slightly fucked up in a different way, but that wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It's this constant cycle of people abusing the system and using political power to just engorge themselves with fucking money.
So it's just money and corruption and greed that is fueling all of this.
Right.
Yep.
And one of the most resource dense sections of the planet.
Yeah, it's honestly so difficult to try and solve that, because you're right, these countries are very resource rich and they've been exploited for God knows how long, and they're trying to, I guess, take back some of that. Yeah, monetize it, take back some of that power. And unfortunately, it's just an endless cycle of greed. And
let me jump in real quick. If the funds are coming in for these countries to develop, it's not coming in the trickle that everybody else got and that they gradually built up over time. It's fucking fire hoses of fucking money, because that's how much shit is in the dirt, under the ground, growing on trees. Like, that's how much this shit is worth, and it's flowing in. And the dragons fucking curse is just on the area, because everyone is so fucking money hungry.
Well, yeah, I mean, Western civilization has basically taught these countries to cannibalize their resources.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can have a fucking Bugatti. Who cares? Fuck these fucking animals. Fuck this land. Fuck these fucking people that you just displaced. Fuck them, dude. You want a fucking 2 Bugattis? You can have 2. Fuck these guys, right? They don't even like you.
And as soon as there's not enough resources for the money to be worth it, we will leave and not care.
And it'll be a graveyard.
Yep. And they'll fight over the scraps of what's left.
See, I told you at the beginning. That's what we talk about: politics and despair.
It's true.
Well, so wasn't it Sudan a few months ago that had another, they have a civil war popping off because 2 different military factions are fighting each other?
I hit the more you know. There it is.
I haven't heard anything on that since. I have no idea what's happening in Sudan.
I was trying to warn you. I was like, I hit the more you know about 30 seconds ago, and it hasn't popped off yet, so it could happen at any time. And as soon as I said that, it popped off. So.
And the biggest problem with any sort of intervention by Europe or America is that we're assuming we know what's best, and we don't.
Right. And then
we need to just get the fuck out.
And that homegirl with the smaller little channel, like her video is 180 to what Reuters is talking about.
Right.
And what AP is talking about. It's 180. And she seems to be of the opinion that, yeah, these people are sick of their corrupt fucking government and they got rid of them. And now the world, it looks like, is threatening to invade if they don't put them back in right now. And what do you say? Reuters says, well, I'm just back. We're just back in the government, the proper government that's in place. Was it any good? Can I get some stories about what happened? Some reporting on what happened with it? Absolutely not.
Bless you.
They won't tell you.
That wasn't me. Ollie says, "Bless you, wife."
Well, and unfortunately, Niger is extra screwed. Even if the people join the army and are ready to fight the rest of ECOWAS, the other two suspended nations to the north of them that we're going to help have already kind of backed out from saying we're not going to come help you if you get invaded.
That's where Wagner was holed up over in Mali.
Yeah.
So like
in Burkina Faso, I think.
Yeah, those two countries to the west and southwest. So it's just a shit show.
Yep.
Like at this point, it has to just be everyone agrees to. It has to be like Black Panther was right. It has to be Wakanda. You have to just no one touch it. Everybody stop touching it.
Yeah.
They have to just let them do. If you want to buy something, there's a limit and it's capped at this much, because the influx of money in dump trucks amount is not right for people. Can't develop that way. They can't build a culture in a society when people are living like they did for thousands of years, and then other people are literally in Lamborghinis that they leave on the side of the road when they run out of gas.
Right.
Like,
well, now we have a knife. We have a knife to their throat, because that's why they keep trying to renegotiate the Ukraine grain deal, keep shipping all the food to Africa.
Right.
Because if we stop sending them food, half of these countries will starve immediately.
But they have everything that they need, but they need Russian grain. How?
Because they didn't.
Well, their government,
they don't have the agricultural know-how to feed their entire population.
Well, and also a lot of the stuff that is given to them is taken by the governments, by the juntas. Yeah. And that's a lot. That's a big problem when discussing aid packages to African countries or even like Afghanistan or something like that.
Middle East too.
You cannot give them money directly, because the governments will take the money, the militias will take the money, and that you'll never see it again.
That's what they were saying, is like all the financial aid goes to the leader of the country, who is the corrupt one, which is why they needed the aid in the first place.
Yeah.
And then people don't want to give money anymore.
It's a vicious cycle. You can't just stop all the aid, because that presents a different problem, because when the countries aren't getting that money, the government's destabilized, and then this stuff happens anyway.
Right.
So there has to be a better way, and I have no idea what that could be. Just diplomatically or economically, it's almost impossible.
It would even have to be a resolution from the UN that the Security Council, the Big Five, are not allowed to intervene in these countries at all. But of course, none of them will ever agree to it.
Yeah, because Russia,
Britain and France, these are all their colonies. The United States has too much money invested. Just look at the oil fields of Nigeria. China wants everything it can get its hands on, and Russia is just sending in mercenaries to fuck shit up and see what happens.
This episode brought to you by Tesla. Powering the future.
With emeralds.
Stop the children! Your car spits emeralds.
We'll keep you informed. We don't know what's happening yet, so there's no World War Africa yet.
But soon, probably.
I don't know. I'll talk about. I gotta save it for what's it called? Maybe at the end. We'll talk about your homegirl, your best friend in the whole wide world, up in northern Russia.
Huh?
Your girlfriend in northern Russia.
Mrs. Claus?
Yeah, Mrs. Claus. That's her name.
Santa?
Santa
Santa's
Claus.
wife?
Santa Mrs.
Santa baby.
You guys got to watch The Bin tomorrow because oh my God, I'm going to fucking make fun of Sarah Palin so much.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh no, what did she do? I did not. This is a good time.
She wants to destabilize the country. That's,
There's a new short out on the Bin Podcast YouTube channel. It's about 60 seconds. You will hate every minute of it. Ooh, you'll hate it. You know, we can watch it. Let's do a little we'll do a little cross promo.
Boy,
I don't know why I'm doing cross promo.
Sarah
I could just pull up the fucking video.
We're all the same family.
It's
she wants. It's almost like she want Alaska to secede.
No, no.
Seceding, not quite.
She wants to join Russia.
Not quite.
You're warm, but you're not quite there.
Country as I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think those who are conducting this travesty and creating this two-tier system of justice, I want to ask them, what the heck? Do you want us to be in civil war? Because that's what's going to happen. We're not going to keep putting up with this. And Eric, I like that you suggested that we need to get angry. We do need to rise up and take our country back. Now, I would I would say the RNC, though, that's what's lacking when it comes to collective anger that can be healthy and it can be useful. Where is the RNC? They hold the purse strings to the party. They hold the funds.
They don't have any money.
They're broke.
They have the platform, and yet they're too timid. A bunch of freaking rhinos running the thing.
She's a rhino.
Bunch of freaking rhinos.
She looks like she drinks white rhino blood for breakfast.
See, they better get their stuff together, or I'll have to ask them too. What do they want as an outcome of this civil war?
Wow.
Awesome.
That's your girlfriend.
That's how you get it. That's how you get in the news.
That's your girlfriend. She's like Wildling Roseanne Barr. If Roseanne Barr was a hockey mom, like that's what she would be.
Her house looks stupid, by the way.
All right, let's spin the wheel of news. What else is on this thing?
Breaking news.
Uncle Roro's got something for us.
Uncle Ro?
Uncle Roland. This is so the Justins are back in the news. Everybody's favorite Justins. Fuck you, Justin Timberlake and Justin
Bieber.
Both of
Justin
you.
Timberlake is an anti-vaxxer. He's a piece of shit.
And Justin Bieber's Canadian.
Fuck you.
It leaks out.
He became American. You guys adopted him.
Yeah, like we adopted COVID. Like, come on, man. Like, an infection's an infection. The Justins in Tennessee, the two young men who got expelled from the state house for their disruptive behaviors. Well, they're in trouble again for being uppity, I suppose.
Oh, did they talk out of turn?
Mm-hmm.
Not wanting to even allow this vote to take place.
Ooh, backstory. Good. I'm glad he said that. So, MOMS, which is Mothers Against Mass Shootings, it's the acronym, they petitioned the governor to call a special session to get everybody together so that they can do something about, because there was another mass shooting, and they want, y'all need to do something about common sense gun laws. Now get in there and do it. Governor says, all right, y'all, I told them that you guys are going to do it. Now get in there and do it. Here we go.
This is what happened.
Oh, they played the videos out of order. You buzzards. Here we go.
To the parliamentarian.
So this is the end of the meeting, the very, very end of the meeting that they called.
When is the appropriate time for me to make a motion of no confidence in Cameron Sexton as the Speaker of the House?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, as I stated when I got this question before, it would be unfinished business.
Representative Jones.
If we proceed with Representative Cochran's motion to adjourn, will I have an opportunity to make this motion of no confidence, or do I do it now?
So one of the governor's lackeys, or one of the chairperson's lackeys, is keeps putting up the motion to adjourn.
Because they're bypassing unfinished business.
Yes, he just wants to adjourn. So he keeps interrupting, like, excuse me, I'd like to do a little vote real quick, since we're all here. And he's just like, oh, nope. What did you want? Adjourn? Yeah. Anybody want to adjourn? Skit. One more thing. Tennessee, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all are about to be my new reality show.
The Republican playbook, just pretend things didn't happen and it'll be fine.
The LA City Council kind of cooled off, so I might have to start watching the Tennessee State House now.
Before this motion to adjourn, I believe that the people of Tennessee deserve to hear this vote. That if you're confident in your leadership, take the vote, Mr. Speaker. Take the vote of no confidence and stand on your leadership.
Mr. Clark.
Mr. Speaker, we would have to dispose of this motion before we can move to any other business. And as I stated before,
so I would love to bring forth your motion, but we're already in a motion. So I'd have to end this motion to start a new motion.
And then we'll do unfinished business, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're just
hiding
behind procedure.
Yep.
The appropriate time
this
for the
is not Robert's
motion
rules.
will be under unfinished business.
Representative Jones, it has to be a question for inquiry.
Yeah, make sure you're asking the right way. Form of a question, please.
Jones.
Would it be appropriate to the parliamentarian to make a motion calling for a vote of no confidence prior to any vote to adjourn? I believe that, is there a way for us to make sure that we have a vote of no confidence before adjourning and to have democracy play out on this House, or has the determination already been made that we're ending session without doing anything and not allowing members to voice motions that you've been informed of for days?
Been informed of for days.
I don't want to do that. It might make me look bad.
My man is all over him. He's like got him on a Brazilian jiu-jitsu mat. A lot of contact going on. He's just grappling. He's all over him.
We definitely have to watch the election cycle in a year with what happens in Tennessee. I'll be curious to see what happens.
Representative Faison, for what purpose?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Make a motion for order of the day.
Motion's been heard. Orders of the day. We're on the motion to concur. You can't object to orders of the day. So we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Joint Resolution, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Does anybody wish to change their vote?
71, 18 days.
I hereby declare concurred in. Without objection, motion to recess table. Leader Cochran, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the Journal of the House of Representatives and the proceedings thereof be approved from the first through the fifth legislative days of the first extraordinary session.
Without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert, Leader Cochran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Senate Joint Resolution number 150, I move the first extraordinary session of the House of Representatives of the 113th General Assembly.
I know it's dry, guys, but the procedural stuff is important. Like the steps in which they're doing this is important.
I don't know who you think you're talking to, but this is
dude. I love this shit.
This fucking Tim's like fucking nipples hard, ready for this.
Of the state of Tennessee, adjourned. Sine die.
I hereby declare the first extraordinary session of the House of Representatives of the 113th.
So the people that are making all that ruckus, that's all the moms from the group moms.
Right, they're standing like up in the balcony area,
up in the galley, up top, or gallery, maybe, I don't know. But
I think it's a gallery.
Yeah, they're there to support it because they were told that the governor is going to call this special session and they're going to talk about gun reform, gun control. They're going to talk about this. They've been sitting up there all fucking night. They see Justin stand there saying, hello, can we do something? Anything. He said, no, we about to go home is what we about to do.
General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, sine die.
Okay, so then that goes into this gentleman is also a state rep, so we'll let him tell it.
Upset about it and shouting. Those of us that were down on the floor were upset about it and shouting. And when that happened, all of us, every Democrat that was on that House floor, we all walked out of the session and left.
It looks like he attacked him personally.
Those gentlemen are the security for the Secretary of State, or for the Speaker.
Yeah, all white dudes.
Now, you talked about chaos erupting today. Let's do this here, guys. Start this video over, and I want you to play this full sound so people can hear.
Nah, Uncle Roro. I just did that. Or maybe. They're chanting, "Vote him out."
Mm.
So let's see. It moves on and on and on and on and on. So this is
No. I want you to say exactly what you told him.
Oh, okay. Get your ass off of him and get out the way so he can get out, so he can move. Because I was behind him watching him move over to block Justin from going out. And then no, we're not gonna play that game. We're not gonna play that intimidation game. But right there,
And we saw there the speaker's security shoved Justin backwards. First of all, a security officer putting his hands on a state official?
Yeah, that's
seems weird, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now if
Feel like
somebody
that's assault.
Now if somebody would have pushed on some frail old Nancy Pelosi looking lady, they'd be like,
call in the National Guard.
But it's a dude.
That would have been funny though.
But it's a dude under 40 with a fro. Push that jigaboo over to the side.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like happened. And yeah.
All right. Do y'all have the video from yesterday? Y'all have it ready?
That one dude has a McDonald's cup. Just want to point that out.
All right, fine. Get that video. Okay, because I
He's
think,
loving it.
Because again, the stuff has been heated. Just
that's a Chick-fil-A cup. Hold on, brother.
Oh,
I think.
Oh, that is a Chick-fil-A cup.
Yep, that is definitely a cock-a-doodle-doo right there. That is a
again. The stuff
because
has
he's a
been
racist.
Yeah,
he hates women.
And
just
a little
like
homophobic,
crazy.
but whatever.
And again, what took place yesterday was just shocking and stunning. How these folks flat out do not want to allow. Look, they expel Representative Pearson, they expel Representative Jones, and what they're doing now is just
running away.
The other Justin's last name is Pearson, so Pearson and Jones are the Justins.
Just continuing to antagonize them, attack them, not allowing them to represent their constituents. They are basically saying, we don't care about you guys representing your constituents. We're going to do whatever it is that we want.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, Tennessee. You played yourself.
Again, I'm going to be real excited to see how this bites them in the ass next year.
Well, didn't the so the Democrats did a walkout, right?
Yeah.
But Roland,
Oops, sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Wow. I McConnell there for a second.
401 era.
But I mean, I heard the one of the Justins talking after the walkout about what they're trying to do, and I mean, the Republicans don't have any standing here. They're just being idiots and using the fact that they have the speaker's seat to force other people's opinions out and
bully people.
Yeah, and to their very much discredit, they're doing it to two black people and it's not looking good for them.
The two youngest, blackest ones that they could find too. Like these aren't two like, what's that Paris? What's his face? That's always on fucking CNN and shit like that, or or even like a milk toast Don Lemon. No, these is brothers.
Yeah,
these is brothers. Like they are unapologetically black and outstanding.
And even if they're not intentionally being racist, it is the perception that they are intentionally being racist, and perception is everything.
Intense.
Because I mean, like, what? You know that the Justins work there too. Did you think you could go the whole meeting without saying anything? Without them making a fucking scene? Of course they're gonna make a scene. Because you're not doing your job. And fucking props to them for making a fucking scene. Yeah, this is gonna be a fucking it's gonna be an episode. It's gonna be an incident every time you guys fucking do something. It's gonna be a whole ass thing every time.
And the worst part is they have this special session to be performative and do literally nothing.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, good on the Justins for trying to hold some sort of accountability there.
I hope one of them becomes Speaker of the House.
Oh my God, that would be so. I would definitely watch every fucking session. I will fucking put my own camera down there. I will drive down there and set up a camera if I have to.
What's up, racist white people? You want to talk?
I will produce the stream of theirs every week for free. No, but I won't do it for free. I'll do it at a reduced cost though. Never do it for free, guys. You have discounts, but never free.
$9.99 a minute.
Yeah, I'll do $900 a minute. That's fair. That's fair.
All right, spin the wheel of news.
Error.
I pressed play on the video about 30 seconds ago. Nah, I'm just kidding.
What are your thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Hello? Anybody home?
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
Yep, I heard it.
Sure did.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a file not found over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking
Files
for it.
corrupted.
He's blue screening right now.
Thump.
Buddy.
Thump.
Go retire.
Okay. Someone needs to update his firmware.
Like, come on, man.
Oh, buddy.
Come on, man. I've been watching a lot of Girls with Dogs. She's so good.
Secret
Mikey.
viewing life of Mikey Famine.
We don't need to know what you do in your free time.
Hey, I also got the dodo on there because this fucking world is so depressing. I like to see the video of the hippo who becomes friends with a baby rhino. Like, I need that in my life. I need to see these ugly, matted dogs get cleaned because I need some ray of sunshine on the internet. I mean...
Well, then I am not going to share the new statistics out on how bad it is for animals in shelters these days.
Let's not do that.
Don't need no more bubbles burst today.
So, Mitch McConnell there, he did a Mitch McConnell, and for the second time
froze. Yeah.
He is having many strokes. He needs to be out of office. He needs to be at home.
Yeah,
he needs to be in a hospital.
He needs to be in a nursing home.
All politics aside, he needs to retire.
It's time to go, dude. Like, we made fun of you on the first one, but you need to go now. Like, you need to just go.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. And
if anyone was doing that repeatedly, listen, if Joe Biden started freezing repeatedly in the middle of his speeches or in the middle of a press conference, and he was just like,
have to go,
a shell of a person, they'd have to invoke the 25th Amendment on his ass.
Get him out.
He's
Kamala,
a ranking member of the Republican Party. Like, he is one of their main leadership people.
He's the minority leader of the Senate Republicans, so he is the top Republican in the Senate, and he's doing that.
There's power vacuums everywhere. Like, we're talking about them in Africa, and we're talking about them in Russia and Ukraine. There's definitely some power vacuums in the Republican Party in this fucking country, because he can't leave, because who's going to take his spot?
That is their problem. And didn't Kentucky just elect a Democratic governor?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why he's not retiring.
Right. There is no Republican that can take his seat. I'm surprised how close he came to losing last election cycle.
Yeah, it was closer than it should have been. Like, I
It
think
is very close.
The guy got like 35, 40% or something like that. Like, it shouldn't have been that close.
If it's not Mitch McConnell, the Republicans are going to have a very tough time keeping his seat.
Yep. Well, it's the same reason whoever his name is, George Santos, has not been kicked out.
Yo, leave Georgie boy alone. He's a fucking celebrity. He's my favorite Republican. He's my favorite one.
I mean, I'm all for Mitch McConnell retiring. I'm all for Dianne Feinstein retiring.
Yep.
Because she's in a similar situation.
Maxine.
No one over 65 should be allowed to hold public office anymore.
And then I feel terrible because I mean, like most people in their mid 30s, I have some friends that are dramatically older than me. By no means is anyone trying to bluster up some ageist kind of sentiment, but it's kind of like, if you've paid attention at all to how our country is running, you kind of see that we need somebody who's got their fucking shit together.
There needs
good, bad, or indifferent. Like I don't care if you're 65, 66, 67. A line has to be drawn somewhere clearly, because if we don't draw a line, this is what happens. So some people are going to be on the wrong side of that line, and they'll feel like the comments are coming at them. It's not about you, homie. And that's half the reason why we're in this fucking situation in the first place. It's people of a certain age thinking shit still fucking concerns them. Like,
if I
gently.
might point out,
yes, sir.
If they misunderstand that, then yes, it might be aimed at them.
Sure.
Right.
So I think there needs to be a similar clause or an amendment in the Constitution for senators and House members, just like the 25th Amendment, where if you cannot discharge the duties of your office,
right,
and if you're not competent enough, regardless of age, throw age out the window right now. But if you cannot complete the duties of your office, like Dianne Feinstein clearly can't do, and Mitch McConnell is running up on, then there should be a clause or an amendment in the Constitution that says, then you're retired.
Yep.
You is done.
And it should be an evaluation, just like it is for the President of the United States.
You don't know how to print to PDF. You're out.
Wait a second now.
Oh.
Oh no.
And see, that's
Ollieman's out of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how to print. I know how to print.
But that's the and I just want to reiterate it, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like, people still have value at that age. But if you are declining cognitively, if you're constantly in the hospital, if there's all these things that are age related that are restricting you from serving millions and millions and millions of people, like, it's not about you at this point. Like, we need our government to run. Clearly, from all the other fucking previous stories today, a functioning democracy is some assembly required. Like, that shit is not just like plug and play. Like, it takes fucking work. And if your back is fucking wrenched, then bro, we got you. But you do have to put the fucking hammer down and get the fuck out of the way. It's time to go.
Yeah, and if McConnell continues to do this, if he continues to have these moments, the cries are going to grow louder for him to retire. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be unavoidable, because people in his own party are going to start saying it.
Right.
Well, and I don't know if we showed it on the show, but like he did a rally like in between this event and his last event.
That's right.
Where the whole crowd started chanting, "Retire."
Yeah, I mean,
and he tried to just shrug it off, like, dude,
they're telling
go
you.
lie down.
We are about to have a presidential election where I'm pretty sure the major talking point between Biden and Trump, if Trump is not in jail, between Biden and Trump is going to be which one of them is the most impaired. Which one of them would fail a cognitive test? That is going to be the arrow that they sling at each other.
Yep.
And that's a damn shame. You know? Like, they're not the only two motherfuckers on Earth.
And
when
they
do you non-crazy motherfuckers run for office so we have a better option? Jon Stewart, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, right? Come on.
Oh,
He's got nothing else going on right now. There's a strike. He can't do a show.
Literally. Oh, you know what they fucking did? Him, fucking John Oliver, and like fucking
Colbert. I heard about this.
They made a fucking super group podcast.
Yeah, how can you compete with that?
Dude, what the fuck? Oh, our industry's fucked up, so we're just gonna bomb you guys. Like, we didn't do shit to you, man. You didn't have to come over here. We were doing just fine now that the Joe Rogan heat finally cooled off.
Yeah, it's called Strike Force 5. That's the name of the podcast.
I'll be listening to it tonight.
Yeah, me too.
But they shouldn't do it anyway. I'm just saying, on principle, save some of the smaller media for smaller media people. Damn, we ain't got much else. You bastards.
Damn you, Colbert.
Yeah, like, but I'm being half funny, but who do we like? Like, we're getting to a point now where we have to have serious options if we want to take ourselves seriously for this like whole president. Like, who can run now? Like, we need some. Like, I like to have an like when we're fighting with the opposition. What is our alternative? You know what I mean? It's easy enough to just complain about the status quo, but who the hell is going to invoke the change necessary to get us at least back to fucking 2000?
I don't know who on the progressive.
I'm sorry. I was dusting it.
That's a lot of buttons.
Sorry.
Hit them all at once.
There was one piece of dust and it was bothering me and I touched it.
I don't know who on the progressive side is going to be that force for change for, let's say, our age group. Let's say for millennials or even Gen X. Because currently the progressive side is taken up by, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and people who are older.
How old is Warren? 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie's 80. So like you'd have to go with like AOC.
Or what about Pete?
No, not Pete. Pete's a corporate Democrat. Fuck that guy.
Amy Klobuchar, a corporate Democrat, but she could be the first woman president, I think.
You like Klobuchar though. You liked her at the debates last time.
Yeah, well, she's been good for Minnesota. She's a good representative.
Oh, there's the bias that he just casually forgot to fucking mention.
I want Bernie Sanders, but he's going to be 100 years old the next round. So,
what about like a what's my girl in just lost to oh my god, in Florida. No, Georgia. Stacey Abrams.
Abrams is she's a good pick. And she could really rally the South to her cause. I think the Republicans would have a hard time with their Southern strategy if she were running. She'd have to rally like the coastal progressives to her, but
because I mean, you look at her versus like a DeSantis. I think she walks him.
I think she wipes the floor with him. To be
she
honest,
fucking walks him.
Anyone on that stage at that debate, she would body.
Solo. She soloed the main boss. Yeah.
Like, she would take Vivek apart.
That he'd be shaking like a little leaf in the wind. He'd be like one of them dogs. And then you hear the, in the arms of, for just 36 cents
Give
a day.
$1.
Yeah. He'd be shaking like an ASPCA hound as soon as he got on a debate floor with her.
I think Stacey Abrams would be a good progressive pick for a presidential candidate. I think an AOC in maybe a couple more years. I mean, I don't know if she reaches the age threshold to actually run for president, but AOC
for VP.
No. AOC would be a good pick when she has more political experience.
She's 33, so she's got 2 years left, right?
Yeah, she's got 2 more years. So
Yeah, she could run next cycle if she wanted to.
Technically, can't she run for this one, Tim? Because you have to be the age at the end, like when you're sworn in.
Yeah, so if her birthday's in October, then yeah, she
October
could.
13th.
Yeah. But I think she needs a lot more experience in politics because
I agree.
She sometimes she's very smart and she's very capable as a representative, but sometimes she says stuff that gets her in trouble and politically. And I don't feel like the party can get fully behind her until she shows that she can be in leadership and still be progressive, because that's the Democratic problem right now, is that Democratic leadership is not progressive, but the rank and file tend to be a bit more progressive. But right now we have what's his name? Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
He is not a progressive.
Okay. So you're looking for like somebody progressive to run. I'm just saying who we could find at all non-MAGA to win against.
I see.
To win the ticket. You know, not Trump, not Biden. What does that race look like without those two?
Then you're Pete Buttigieg. He would be a good presidential pick, I think. I just don't like him because he's like a corporate shill. But that's if you want someone who's going to be like
who can win is essentially the question. You know what I mean?
Pete Buttigieg has a good chance of winning. I think Amy Klobuchar.
You would have a chance, but
who was that? There was a Democrat from New York. I forget her name, but she was pretty good. No, not Marianne Williamson.
Fucking charge them moon crystals, baby. It's a full moon tonight. Getting full chakra resonance, baby.
Stop making fun of the crystal people.
I honestly think one of the senators from Georgia could make a good case for presidency after, they get through a term or something like that, because they know how to run elections.
Who, the Justins, you said?
No, one of the senators from Georgia. What are they won.
What if the Justins run in like 10 years?
I mean, they could.
Ooh. What about Gavin Newsom?
No.
He's not popular in his own state.
Yeah, they've been trying to recall him every 6 weeks.
There's a funny story about
Gavin.
Gavin.
Lose California.
So when I was working for the poll that I worked for, we polled California for like, popularity of like Gavin Newsom and who they thought presidential candidate should be. Mm-hmm. And boy, they just fucking hate Gavin Newsom in California. I don't know how he survives those recall elections, but boy, they don't like him.
I mean, ever since he went out to eat during COVID,
yeah,
they have been on his ass, bro. They have not let him breathe since.
Ooh. Mark Kelly.
Who?
Who's Mark Kelly?
He is the former astronaut and holds a seat in Arizona.
That's right. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You know who else is in Congress? Fucking Clay Aiken.
Is he?
Yeah, in Tennessee, I think. Or is it Arkansas? Let me see. Where's Clay Aiken? He's a rep. Or maybe he lost again. Clay Aiken.
I think he's in.
He always loses.
That's just
Got him.
Two words.
Ruben stuttered.
Michelle Obama.
Now, dude, see, this is what I'm saying. Like,
That's an auto win.
We have aces up the sleeve, though. That's what I like. Why do we have like? You didn't even have to run by. Like, if they would have ran Michelle with Kamala, bruh.
Oh, bro.
We're out of here.
Has
8
she
more
held
years?
office?
No.
No, but she's way more popular than Barack ever was.
Neither is Trump.
Yeah,
She
I guess
spent
that's
more
fair.
time in the White House than Trump did, technically. She spent more time in D.C. and hers wasn't in jail.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe
Here's
a
what
Michelle
you do.
Obama with a more centrist, experienced VP.
No.
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
Michelle Obama, Stacey Abrams.
I'd vote for him.
That wouldn't lose.
No.
Like,
There's a
even
lot
if
of racist people out there, though.
They could hate vote all they wanted. I don't think they would, because the women would vote.
Yeah. And boy, they are awfully pissed off at the men right now.
Mm-hmm. You think Michelle's gonna let that shit happen under her watch? She's like, oh, the men are out of control. Got this. Check this out.
First thing, cages. All men.
First off, Barack, go get my shoes from the other room and do it on camera. I want everybody to see this. Like, it's gonna be we're gonna have to learn home training all over again. There's gonna be punishments. They're gonna be cutting us off for months at a time. The first women's union. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed. We've given them the secret recipe. A woman's union, and we're fucked, dude. We're out.
All she has to do is say who she's going to nominate to the Supreme Court. Like,
oh no, we're in trouble.
She's like, I'll pack the court with women.
I mean, it wouldn't be anything that we didn't deserve.
No, we would deserve every.
Let's ban all men from politics, I think.
She might constitutional amendment. Men no longer have the right to vote.
I'm okay with
Wouldn't that suck if we lost our suffrage because of Trump? I'm like, dude, I was doing what I was supposed to do.
When I said that, my wife was like, yes, fuck men.
Come on, advocate for us. Help us teach the stupid ones.
Will your wife run for political office, Tim?
I don't think so, but she'd be totally for a constitutional amendment taking away the men's right to vote.
Well, thanks.
I think that deserves a clip, Mikey, of that last segment. Let's just take away the men's right to vote.
I mean, honestly.
Oh, she would also like to take our ability away to hold a bank accounts and probably credit cards.
But then how will I buy my video games?
No, hold on. I'm fighting back on that one because women are equal opportunity shitty spenders. So I'm not trying to hear that shit. No. That's too even. That's like, oh no.
Wife, how about men in cages?
Don't want to be in the cage again.
She doesn't support men in cages.
I'm not voting for her anymore.
Clay Aiken lost he got primaried.
Oh, wait, Clay Aiken.
At 14. Oh no, he never won. He ran, but he lost.
Oh, I see.
He got the Democratic nomination.
Got the primary.
Listen, he won a primary. That's pretty good.
And then he got schmizzled by 40,000 votes.
Jesus. I mean, yeah.
Out of 200.
All of my elections end up that way.
He lost by 20%.
Yeah, I know.
So that's
what I'm saying.
He's you are equally as accomplished as Clay Aiken, sir.
Ooh, I'm just as good as Clay Aiken.
So says math.
Sweet.
Math agrees with your position, sir. Math agrees. And I think you sing better, honestly.
Oh, thanks. Wife, is there anything else you'd like to take away from men? She's thinking about it.
Liquor.
And that's all the time we have for no.
She said pants.
What?
She just wants to look at dicks all day.
Are we allowed to wear like underwear, or is it just
She said,
why can't we wear pants?
She said, nope. She said, y'all swinging from now on.
She says we got to wear dresses because women couldn't wear pants for a while.
Oh, she's taking
Can't
our
do
pants.
that by state. It gets
Oh,
cold here.
so she's taking our pants away from us because they were
Yes.
denied pants. I understand
Yes.
now. I understand now.
But
So
only for
it's-
like 1,000 years.
Yeah, it's
And then we get them
skirts.
back.
Gave ladies pants eventually.
Can we have
When
them
do we
back
get
eventually?
pants back?
Can we earn our pants back quicker with good behavior?
With good behavior, how long do we get our pants back?
Can we
Is
start
she-
with shorts?
Can we start with shorts?
And get like longer pants.
No, she says skirts. Skirts for the next 100 years.
Fuck
All right,
that.
I'm wearing a kilt. Time to go to Scotland.
Yeah, we'll
Fuck
have
that,
to
I'm
embrace
mo-
kilts.
No, I'm moving to fucking Florida so I don't fucking freeze to death. I can't be up here in the frozen north with fucking a dress
Here's-
on. I'll die.
Here's what she really wants. She wants to take away our pockets because women's clothes don't have good pockets.
That's fair.
She doesn't
I
want us to have pockets anymore.
Well, can't we just wear sweatpants? How about gray sweatpants for all men?
How about gray sweatpants with the shitty pockets?
Beige leggings.
No, she says no pockets. We're not allowed to have pockets anymore.
Gray-
No pockets, no votes.
Gray
Leggings only.
Gray sweatpants is a code for dick print. That's what that is. That's code.
So if my
I'm
wife
not
was
allo-
ever president, we would no longer have votes or pockets.
I'm not allowed to leave the house in my gray sweatpants
Although I would like you.
because
Gay
apparently
guys
you
can have pockets, apparently.
Oh, come on, that's not even.
Like he says, that's not even fair.
Well, then lesbians should lose their pockets.
They've been aggressive.
Oh. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Before we cancel ourselves.
Yeah, before we cancel
We
ourselves.
wouldn't do that, would we?
And that's the thing, like, even if we get to ranting about shit that doesn't make sense, I don't even think we'd ever get to a point where we'd say something that would, like, get any of us canceled. Because
That's
we're
true.
not fucking monsters.
That's true.
Like some
I think we should re-elect Donald Trump.
All right,
He
that's
is-
all the time we got for this week. See you, bye.
Bye.
Bye.